Okay, so dear students, after installing the Oracle 11G, we are going to work inside the environment of the Oracle 11G. So for opening the Oracle 11G, when you install the Oracle 11G, you will get two different options. The one is the SQL Plus, the second is the Sql Developer. So I'm going to use first of all the SQL Plus. How to use the SQL Plus? So when you click on the SQL Plus, a window will open, clear, and that is asking from you the password of the HR account. So do you remember that during the installation we have created we have unlocked the HR account and we have provided the password as HR for the HR account. So I'm going to enter HR, enter. So it is asking for the password. The password was same HR, enter, and you see here, you are able to see here that connected to Oracle database 11G Enterprise Edition, clear. And now here you can write your query and you can perform the task as well. I don't have currently any table in the Oracle, but I am writing a query to check that whether that is running fine or not. So I'm writing select static from, suppose there is a table employee, and semicolon. When you press enter, so error at line 1, it means table or view does not exist, and that's right, there is no table in the Oracle now. So that's why it is giving that error. The table or view doesn't exist. So it means that our Oracle is working fine. Clear? Now this is the one method how to execute SQL Plus. Now the second is to open the command prompt. From the command prompt, write SQL Plus and enter. So it is asking from you again the HR username and the password as well, clear. So HR, enter, and HR password. So you are connected with the SQL Oracle environment. So I'm writing select all the data to make sure that is it really connected, is it working fine or not, from employee, semicolon. So no table exists, the database is empty, there is no table. So dear students, the environment in which we are working now, that is the DOS environment, but there is another option available to us, that is the graphical user interface environment, and that is known as the SQL Developer. From there we can use the graphical user interface environment. So I'm going to show you that how to work in the graphical user interface environment of your Oracle. So I'm writing SQL Developer. So the SQL Developer, click on the SQL Developer. It will ask from you to whether execute this environment or not. Yes, definitely I'm going to execute the environment. So when you start it for the very first time, it will ask some settings from you for some Java settings. So I'm going to show you that how to make those Java settings. So that SQL Developer is asking for another program, another exe, java.exe. So I'm gonna give the reference of Java from its setup files. So where these files are, I'm gonna show you. Click on the browse button, So where our Oracle is installed on the C drive. On the C drive, we install that in the app. In the app folder, we have the Hamad, the user. Now from that, we have the product. In product 11.1.0. From here, DB1. Okay, so not in the DB1, in the DB2. From in the DB2, search for JDK, Java Development Kit. This one, open it, and from the bin you will find the Java. Select it, open, and OK. So now you see that environment is opening with the help of using the Java Development Kit. So now what are these options? We are going to select these options. Configure file type association. Select file types to associate with the SQL Developer. So check all of the options: SQL source, SQL PL/SQL source. Check all of these options and press OK. So you will see that this is a graphical user face environment, but there are no connections. So I'm going to show you how to create the connection. So currently we don't have any connection with the HR, and you remember that we have unlocked the account of HR who has the full authorization. Now I'm going to connect the connection of SQL Developer with the HR. So I'm clicking on the new connection, and the window will open. Now the connection name, you can give any name to that connection, but I am giving the HR. The username was HR and the password was HR. Clear? Saving the password. I am working in the Oracle environment, not in the Access, MySQL or SQL Server. So I'm working in the Oracle. Now SID. So remove it from XE to ORCL. Clear? Now remember ORCL during the time of installation, that was the name of SID. Test the connection. The connection is testing. Yes, the connection is succeeded. Status is equal to success. So I'm repeating once again that I give the name to that connection, the HR. The username during the installation I provided the HR, and the password was the HR as well. Now I have given the name of ORCL, the port number is OK, the local host is OK, and I test the connection. The status is succeeded. Now press the connect button, and now you are connected to the HR account. So open it. So you can see here that you can see all the directories of HR account, the tables, the views, each and everything. Now in this environment you can see all the tables. So inshallah in the later on lectures we will discuss about the different tables of that HR account. So we have one table, the employees, this one. So I'm going to write a query here. Select all the data from employees, and I'm going to execute that query. So when I execute that, so you can see here that I got all the records. They were available. There are total 107 records in the HR employee table. So remember that the one environment in which we are working, that is the Oracle SQL Developer environment. That is good, but not as powerful as compared to that black environment, the SQL Plus. I'm talking about the SQL Plus environment, the black environment in which we wrote the password of the HR account, and then we used the password and username to log in into the HR account. That is the most powerful environment. So inshallah we will work parallel in both of the environments, but the SQL Plus is the most powerful one. So there is a third method to open that environment from the developer environment as well. So you can go to the tools. So when you click on the tools, you can see that SQL Plus is disabled, it is not enabled. So for enabling it, select the HR. Now go to the tools and you will see that the SQL Plus is enabled. Click on that. Okay, so for the very first time I'm doing that again. So when you click on the tools, SQL Plus, so for the first time it will ask for some settings. So click on the browse button. Directly SQL Plus.exe will appear here. Select it and open and OK. So you will see again we are in that environment which we have used before. So that is very much powerful environment. Our main concentration will be to work in this black environment. Why? Because if you are expert working in that black environment, so definitely you can work very easily in that developer environment as well. Clear? So time to time we will work in the both of them, but our main focus will be working in this black environment. So there are some settings we need to perform for this our SQL Plus environment. So I'm going to show you how to make those settings. So I'm going to do some settings for this environment. So I'm closing the developer environment. So now you can see here that that environment, the fonts are little bit smaller. So for making some changes, I'm right clicking on the title bar of the SQL Plus environment. Click on the properties. So from the properties you will see the cursor size. You can select small, medium, large, but I'm not interested in that, but it depends, it varies from user to user. Let's come to the font. I'm changing the font to Lucida Console. The fonts are changed. Now let's suppose the size, I change the size to, so then I choose the font size to 24, so it means that font size is increased. Now let's come to the layout. In the layout I'm changing the width from 80 to 100. Clear? And also I'm changing the height from 200. Okay, so now layout is done, and let's come to the colors. So these two options are available. If you want black screen and the white color, the currently environment we are using, or if you want the white screen and black text, so you can select it. But I am okay with that environment, so I'm leaving that as it is, but it depends on you. Click OK. So you will see that this environment is changed. You can see that now your environment is changed, and that is big enough, so you can see your queries. So HR, and username is HR, and the password is HR. So now you can see that you can see all your text and queries in a bigger environment. Okay, so I am writing a query that we have one table in our database, the HR account. So select all the data from employees. So you can see that all the records which we have in our HR account, that they all are displayed. There are 107 records, but they all are not in the arranged form. Clear? So I'm going to show you some two commands. On the basis of those two commands, the data will be arranged in a well-defined manner. So I'm going to show you two more commands and working in that. So the first one is the set line. So set line and set it to 200. Use space in between the set line. The second command is set page size. So set the page size. So there is no problem if you are using the small alphabets, or if you are using the capital alphabets, you can use both of them. Clear? So just to show you, I use the both of them. So use 200 for this as well. Enter. Now by pressing the up arrow key, you will get the query which you have wrote the last time, and by pressing the down arrow key, you will get the last statements, the previous one which we wrote, the set line and the set page. Clear? So there is no need of writing the query again, just press the up arrow. So we got the query, and left and right arrow key will move your cursor left and right. So press enter. So you will see that it is now looking a little bit good, but still some more settings are required. So again I'm going to the properties. From the properties, this time we will work in the screen buffer size. Okay, so now we are going to work in the screen buffer size. So I'm changing the width of the screen buffer to 150. So you will see that 150 is okay, and press OK. So again I'm executing the previous query. So you will see that now it is a little bit looking good and looking little bit fine. So still we need to work in the environment. So I'm selecting again the layout. So again this time a little bit more width is required. So 100 and little bit more height. So I'm select it to 50. Okay, and yeah, you can see that a little bit more settings are required. So going to the properties, from the layout, so again a little bit settings are required. So I'm changing the width, that is up to 200. And selecting the width to 103. Okay, now executing the query. Yeah, now you can see that the environment is arranged, each and everything is in a proper form, and that is our adjusted environment. And you can see the previous environment, that is the new adjusted environment. The employee ID, first name, last name, email, phone, hire date, job ID, and so on. Clear? So in the second, in the other environment, the SQL Developer, each and everything is already arranged and in a proper format. But here in this environment, as we know, it is a powerful. So we are going to adjust it, and now we adjust it and save the settings. For exiting this environment, we need to write exit and press enter, so that environment is exit.